Hello and welcome to Goa 365 Story Behind the Story. Now we have been taking up various issues over the years, as you know, but this time we thought that even with so just around the corner, we had to take this pretty hard issue, given that the state has been rocked by a couple of deaths of ladies. Earlier it was Siddhi Naik, and now it is a top BJP leader, Sonali Phogat. Now, people, these things happen. It's not possible to always, to avoid this. But the way the administration and the police, the way they have handled the issue, especially, procedures or what, that our panel will be able to get into it, has really agitated the people of the state. And the fact is that the drug angle has come, the beach belt has come, which is a tourism hotspot, has even created even more of an issue for the state, which is very bad for the state given that we are a tourism related state. So with me is a very distinguished panel. I would like to introduce them. Advocate Siddharth Sawant. Soundbox, welcome. Dr. Sabina Martins of Bailachi Saath, a very vocal spokesperson, as you can say, of women's issues. Dr. Sabina, welcome to our show. And the Tara Kerkar of Savera. Now, Dr. Before I get into the the social issues and the issues and all, because Tara has been instrumental in that Siddhi Naik case also, and you've been there on our panel where we discussed this. And Sabina ma'am. So, give us a general legal side of it, and then because you are not only legal, you are also part of civic society. So give us a general, what exactly you feel is the issue. Whether we handled it right, we didn't, what we should have done, we could have done.
Amount of crimes that are going undetected is alarming, and that needs to be looked into. Government seriously need to introspect and see as to why these things are happening first, and second, what is the reason these crimes are not properly detected? Are we lacking into investigation? Another point which I would like to make is about now within a span of 8 days or 5 days, we are talking about handing over this case to CBI, or rather actually handed
ridiculous.
Now, if this can be done to Phogat's case, then why it could not be done to Siddhi Naik case? Now, public perception is very important. I mean, always, otherwise the message will go down the system is that only if you are a rich and famous person, then you will get justice, proper investigation will be taken. But if you are some small person who has got no contacts, illiterate people, not so rich people, then they will not get justice. This is the kind of message which will go to the society. So therefore, I think some criteria should be, because if this case can be handed over to CBI, I see no reason, because that case also has not logically ended to any conclusion. Because if you see the circumstances, the body was found without any clothes. She was supposed to go at a particular place. She was found at a particular place. No any traces were seen, because that side there are lot of CCTV cameras. Not much investigation has taken. An autopsy report has also come conflicting. So therefore, that is a perfect case which required. I am not saying that only CBI can do good investigation. Yeah. Our crime branch cannot do. But somehow or the other, in this case, it is, I will not say dragging this, but somehow you have not been able to investigate. So I think this was a fit case, that even this case should have also been gone to CBI, so that at least government is seen that yes, something is being done. Now, that I don't see happening, and I look at it as an unfortunate event. I don't see. Otherwise, somebody who's not connected, a common man, how does he see? Just because you are rich and famous, you are a TV actress or an actor, your case is given to this, even without there much been, because prima facie there are no evidence. There is no body marks on her. There is no threats. There is no motive. But this case is going to CBI. But other case where there are obvious reasons, prima facie evidence, and nothing much, government is asking for closure, and yet it has not gone to CBI. So therefore, I think this needs to be properly looked into.
Sabina ma'am, this issue is legal, as Dr. says. I agree with him in many ways, the perception wise, but also I would think that these questions are asked, as Dr. said, perception. These questions are asked because besides the fact that the police are not really trained in investigation, the same guy who's doing the constable or who does investigation, he files the report, also goes out on bandobast and he does that patrolling and all. They're not actually trained in it. Also, their PR, the way they talk, what they talk, they're very bad. Don't you think that this is what you have got when you've been interacting with police, which you have?
We have, in several cases, we have been going to the police. And at different police stations, we have got different responses depending on the type of case, who the individual is, the person who is complaining. So whether the person is a local, migrant, poor, rich, influential.
So that difference is there?
The difference is there.
Okay.
The second thing is, and you can make out where the police would want to take the investigation forward, where they do not want to take the investigation forward. So there is no fixed thing you can say that you will get this response.
So it's very obvious.
It is very obvious. That goes without saying. In our own cases which we have handled, we have got different responses. In some cases they have been good. In some cases they are just dragging their feet. In some cases the investigation has not proceeded at all. In some cases the registration only has been done and then sabotaged. So this is the problem with the system. The first point that we have, see, we expect the police should be neutral. Any case that comes, you have to register it and you start your investigation. Like, I'm being a chemistry teacher, I can say, an unknown sample is given to you. We are told to find out what sample it is. We do various tests systematically and then arrive at a conclusion. So this thing of doing those various steps doesn't happen the way it should happen. And even like mentioned, say in Siddhi Naik's case, they knew there was a missing complaint. They find a girl who is dead, and circumstances in which she was found, any common person, you don't need to be an expert, will say that this is not natural, that there is no woman will go remove her clothes and commit suicide. Okay, so
I have not heard, at least in so many years.
Yeah. So
I have not heard.
That suicide thing is completely wrong. So the premise on which they started was wrong. And in Siddhi Naik's case, we could make out that at every step they wanted to hush the matter, direct it in a way so that it can be closed as an unnatural death.
Yes.
And not as a murder. For us, if a woman's clothes is removed, it amounts to sexual assault. Okay, so a case should have been registered.
Precedents are there, the judgments have been
Yes.
there on that.
So it has not happened. So in this case, it has not happened, and then we say, okay, when pressure was mounted or when people came on the streets, then the thing was changed to murder. Now, why couldn't it be done before? Why do you want people to come on the street, protest, put pressure, and then you start investigating that angle? Now, you look at even in Sonali Phogat's case, for 2-3 days nothing happened. It's just when the brother came and insisted and all, then that FIR was registered. So, are you waiting for pressure to do investigation? And how many people have that access to, people? There are so many cases happening. How many people can go up and every time come out on the street, put pressure, or family for that matter? And what if you don't have family? Suppose I am a single woman. I don't have immediate family or whatever. What should I do?
Fair enough. So, how is it that the chief minister went and said, heart attack? Without anything, heart attack munchi kide? Ani Siddhi Naik case, na kai na. Tell you one thing, kai na first, soil kavar, ani magir, once you make a noise, once you do this, then you do this. Why? That's what I was saying. The perception, what Dodor is saying is absolutely correct. But the point is not just perception. It is like to keep the cases numbers down.
Yes.
That don't register. Like you go to the police station, the police model, you assume I have lost my mobile, I have lost my. तू किधर केस रजिस्टर करता रे? बेस्ट तुका त्रास मरते. कोर्टान वचपाक बाबा कोण नाका. gold is lost, your house is broken. Naka, कित्याक? We will see, no? This what you see when you go to the police station.
पळय कितें आसा खबर आसा आतां आमच्या दोनूय हेंच्यांनी सांगल्या त्या प्रमाणे पुलीस स्टेशनाचें काम पळय आसा खुबश्या फावटींनी थोड्या भुरग्यांक न्ही काम करपाची इच्छा ना आनी जाका काम करपाची इच्छा आसता पळय ताका वयरसून दबाव आसता तूं तें करनाका म्हणजे पॉलिटिकल मनीस तितून इंटरफेर चड जाल्ल्या कारणान हे केशी बिशी सगळे पाड पडून गेल्या इवन कोर्टान सुद्दां आतां जजा कडेन तेंचे कॉन्टेक्ट आसता आनी तो आमचो मनीस आसा ताका मातशें पळय पळय म्हणून सांगपाचें तेंय तेंच्यांनी चालू केलां नाजाल्यार तेच्या घरा कडेन धाडपाचो कोणाक तरी मनशाक आनी कोर्टानसून तेंच्यांनी आतां बेल बी कोणाक मारपाचो प्रयत्न करता कोणाक मारला चितें जाल्यार तो 2 दिसांनी बेल जाता कसलो कायदो उरला हांगासर आतां कायदो उरोगत ना आतां आमचे चीफ मिनिस्टराक न्ही कोणी तरी प्रेसवाले गेले आनी ताका क्वेश्चन विचारपाक लागले कितें जालें ताका आयले पयले कांय खबर ना तेचे कडेन सर्टिफिकेट कसली आसा डॉक्टराची की आनी कसली हो लोकांक दुबाव मारता मागीर आय टेल यू कित्याक लोक पळोवन मारता असो की कितें आसा हेचे कडेन सट करून म्हणटा तो बुडोवन मेलो ते म्हणटा हार्ट अटॅक जालो तुवें चॅक केलें अरे रिपोर्टर जेन्ना तुका क्वेश्चन उरता हांव सांगता म्हाका जर कोणी क्वेश्चन बाबा तेजो अजून पोस्टमॉर्टम जावंक ना न्हू येवन पोस्टमॉर्टम हांव सांगता म्हणून अरे तू त्या डॉक्टरांक सांग न्हू जेणे सिद्धी नायकाची केशी काबार करून दवरली पुलिसांनी केली ती केली इवन दोतोरांनी काबार केली दोतोरांचे फोन चॅक केले ते तांकां जाले ना डॉक्टर VCR काडपाचो तो तेंच्यांनी काडलो ना आदलेच भुरगे बुडोवन मारता यांच्यानी पाड घातले म्हणजे पॉलिटिकली लोक त्या चेडवाक सगळे पाड घालपाक हे पॉलिटिकली कोण तरी आसा असो आमकां दुबाव मारता आसात दुबाव कित्याक जाले ते नाजाल्यार कित्याक इतलो लेट हांव तेच्या बापायक आनी आवयक घेवन SP कडेन DG कडेन हेचे कडेन तेचे कडेन धांवतो आसा पळयत आसा सांगत आसा तेंची दशा म्हाका पळोवंक जायना 1 महिनो 1.5 महिनो तेंच्यांनी अन्न काम ना हांव स्वता घेवन बसताले तेका
Now this is wait before I continue this Dotor now this is what same thing happened in this case talking about in this case Siddhi Naik case Bapu Yelo came here every Awoeli here they came here and they cried here on the strong Karyakata from the area he is not a congressman one this is and a Goankar this is
condition of
this is Hisar she stood for election she lost everything she is the Mahila vice president I don't know the details actress she was in Big Boss all that
TikTok
her brother comes from Haryana and has one press conference and the next day 5 people are arrested and he promises to give to CBI doesn't this sound like a movie I think it looks like a movie
this is ridiculous no गरीब श्रीमंत
no garib it's like same thing now as she says I don't know about the things but I don't think people are not going to come up and if anybody the people will come and talk but the police I know from sources that sound is like she's dead and gone no sodun di I know from police we have our own sources and these are not only our locals these are also the top guys who come from Delhi the IPS guys who are to be blamed for the way the फुडल्यान जॉब चलता कोंकणीत कितें म्हणटा फुडल्यान जॉब चलता ते फाटल्यान चलता
Correct. That's what I was saying. Public perception.
Yes.
One aspect of the matter. Second, initially point which we had discussed, the same person going for law and order, the same person going for investigation. I think time has come that we clearly bifurcate the duties. There has to be a separate law and order wing, and there has to be a separate investigation.
You have to be taught, no?
People from this investigation wing will be specialized. They'll be trained only for that reason. The law and order cops will be separate because an investigation cops has to be separate from the government. There should not be a government interference there. If that is happen, then investigation will happen free and fair. I am not saying this government interfere. No government. I am not talking about any. I am not talking on party line. That law and order has to be directly because that is ultimately where Morcha will be coming. That they have to take direct instructions from the government. The law and order. But as far as investigation wing is concerned, that has to be a separate. There has to be some collegium or something supervising. There could be a proper procedure that could be, but that unless you free it from the clutches of the politicians, these things will continue to happen.
Okay, forget about it.
मनोहर पर्रीकरान 32 बायलां घेतली PSI की ती फक्त बायलांचेच केशी सगळे घेतले म्हणून खंय आहा ती बायलां
Okay.
32 PS, where is that?
फेअर इनफ ते मानता हांव बट हांव कितें म्हणटा नाव आतां इन्व्हेस्टिगेशन कोत्ता ते फॉरगेट अबाउट गव्हर्मेंट इंटरफियरन्स गव्हर्मेंट ते सोड ते उलयत ना हांव गव्हर्मेंट इंटरफियरन्स तू एक सांग म्हाका तुम्ही सांगा or anybody let the government or the police or any of them say tell me one thing those head constables what do they know about investigation
That's what I'm
what do they know about forensic forget about interference forensic when the person is murdered they know that they have to not allow people to come there
Can I raise
they
one
know that
point?
they have to take the thing they know that they have to bring identification they know kind of barricade area are crime scenes there are crowds of people hordes are there
Glenn, let
at
me
least they
say-
should watch some they say in CSI but they should watch some show at least that but what it's ridiculous they don't know how to write a proper complaint I have seen in the police station
Before going to that-
कोंकणी येना मराठी येना कन्नड येना कन्नडात
पयलींचे पुलीस तशे असलेले आता ना ऑल आर ग्रॅज्युएट ग्रॅज्युएट तसले झाल्या
Supposed to.
पूण कितें
पण
सांगता
जायना.
आता तुवें सांगलें न्हू ते सीएसएफाच्या फुड्यान वास्को एक 7 वर्साचे चेडवाक रेप जाले कितें जालें आज पर्यंत काय जावना म्हणजे कोणाय हुजीर कितें ना बायलां चेडवां म्हणल्यार कचरो जावन पडलो ना कायदे इतलो सामको डब्यान घालून दवरला की काय उपयोग जावना बायलांचो
See, the main thing what is happening, main issue at the government level, see everybody has a role to play. Now let me talk at the government level. They want a good image of Goa to go. So to protect the image, they don't want to show that so many crimes against women are taking. So this is where the first change has to come about. Goa's name, what it is, everybody knows.
Today with social media, how can you stop this? Very
Yes.
difficult.
So the point is that justice for women will be done. That is the message should go, not just go, but in terms of saying, but also in action. If that message goes, then automatically it goes. You go to the
Downward.
DGP, then it goes downward. And I'm telling you, on the last program when I came here, I had said that one case we had of a girl who was drugged, who was put into sexual activity, and she was getting threat because in case she gave out the names of people who were drugged. Mother has gone to the police station. The low level cop tried to register the complaint, whatever it is, but then it was stopped. They said no. And then we only had to help her to get out. No medicals was done, no complaint was registered, and since there was drug and sexual activity, both the tests were not done. Also, where you going to get the evidence? Why? Because from top the message went, and we had gone to the then DGP, and we gave it in writing also. But then when we did a follow up and at the ground level, they said आमका उंचवयल्यान सांगला ते pursue करनाका.
See, the joke is these type of things happen, and then powers that be, I don't want to name them. They say no, media should write good things about. How can somebody have the audacity to ask the media to only report?
So you do good things and media will
Yeah, but
report.
you put your house in order, no? First.
आता तुका खबर आसा न्ही 6-7 महिने झाले वुमन कमिशनाची कमिटीच ना खंय कितें करता सरकार
No, right
Yeah,
now
we
our topic
discussed
is
it last time also,
see
yeah.
the quality of the investigation is bad. The investigation officers are not very well trained.
can't put it in court,
They do
it
not
should be in
correct.
yeah.
The scientific analysis and forensic
Kinda.
is so bad because even when you send something to the first of all collection of evidence has
It's
to be there.
not
Now,
there.
Correct.
that is not there. Now you tell me now also we are just talking about handing over Siddhi Naik case to CBI and you tell me so late in the day what
What
evidence-
evidence you're going to
so that is what initially say whenever a crime is committed a quick response is what is
Yes.
required. See, if you are not able to collect evidence within first 24 hours, later after 8 days giving
What
it,
is the
you
point?
forget CBI giving it to crime branch is also not going to happen.
Crime branch, whether I think FBI or any of these American
that's
that's
very
the-
right what you say. They
we
don't
need
collect
we
evidence
need
on time.
professionalism.
Purposely, I think.
Purposely.
We need
Who knows?
professionalism. We need training to the cops and free police from the clutches of the political bosses. Now, once that is done, as far as investigation is concerned, it will yield very positive and good result.
See, I differ on this point. The first 4 points, I totally agree. The last point, no. See, it's like this. Even if the government wants to block something, the media is there, NGOs are there, and opposition is there. It comes out. But if the investigation itself is not done, the proper procedures only are not followed, the proper FIRs and all these case papers and all the evidence, witnesses, half of these panchas and all are bought. You find one pancha for 100 cases, and then they get thrown out. They
And
decide.
when we want to go as panchas in one case,
They will not allow.
they didn't allow. We said we are coming there. The case was registered.
Why? You
here.
are not there, people.
No, we are not there. They didn't take us,
Exactly.
and they just took the victim and they took the victim in the vehicle and said, show us the place. But we said, if you are doing a panchanama,
You have.
we have to be
Why they want the
present.
case to be thrown out, probably. No?
And they did. And then after 8 days, they're saying, come to do panchanama. After 8 days, this
That is the
thing.
point.
That
See,
is
the
the
forget
story,
about
yeah.
political will, no issue. See, every government will want to, whitewash and makeup, for it's no problem. Issues, any government you go, whether it is communist or whether it is right, left, center, everybody, same. But that can be handled. But if the evidence itself is not there, if it is not collected, professionalism in police is not there. See, now one thing about the police, tell me one thing, does any of the police know how to have a press conference? How many of the police have come to in front like say Tara, you or the
They're not allowed, I think.
Who said they're not allowed? Everybody is allowed.
त्यांना सांगता काय तुम्ही
You cannot speak to the
तू
press.
कसं उरलेलो
No, I'm not talking about the bottom. I'm talking about the DGP, DIG, IGP. Why are they not coming?
No,
SPs, they're
no.
supposed to be big IAS, RPS officers.
Yes.
Big,
They are not
high, they
coming.
were getting salaries of
किती रिटर्न उत्तर किती
No,
दिलं?
why they don't come? Why is the government not teaching them how to do PR? First, we can question them, no? What are they? Where transparency you talk about? Transparency is not there. Opaque. This is not a dictatorship, it's a democracy. And they are public servants. We are paying the salary. We are paying the salary.
You don't have to diverge each and everything about investigation.
Correct.
But the general information as to whether you have registered an FIR, to what progress, whom you have arrested, at least what is there in public domain, you should make it.
It is your job. You are getting paid a salary for it.
That's true.
You are getting paid a salary. Forget having a press conference. You get one robber there. You have one SP come, 4-5 cops. Have a press conference.
फोटो
And the other thing, the police have to take a suo motu notice if a crime has been brought to their notice. Now this is another issue which doesn't happen. They will want, if a crime has taken place and if I have reported, they will say you lodge a complaint. Now why should I lodge a complaint? I will inform the police that so and so has happened. You go to the site, you see whether the crime has taken place or not. You file your suo motu complaint. They hold people responsible. You file a complaint. So why will public want to complain?
I have not heard about this anywhere in the world. Any
खूप
murder happens, you have to file a complaint. I killed somebody. It's ridiculous.
खूप फावटींनी असे जाता जे विटनेस म्हणून जर वयताच आहेत न्हू
त्रासान
ताका चड
पडटा.
त्रास
त्रासान
पडटा
पडटा.
तूं कित्याक गेल्लो विटनेस म्हणून आनी मागीर कोर्टान चलपयल्या विटनेस जर गेलो थंय विटनेस दिवपाक लागून तेकाय बी थंयसर येयना जाल्यार तेका वॉरंट धाडटा एका लागून लोक मागीर फुडें सरना एखादी कोणाक तरी
Law
हेल्प
is
करपाक जर कोणी
otherwise.
फुडें
If there is a
सरता
cognizable
सगळें
offense, if there is a cognizable offense, and if somebody reports, then the investigation, whoever the station in charge is duty bound to register, write it, and then take his signature on it, and then register an FIR. That's what the law on this point is. If there is a cognizable offense, then police officer on its own have to do it. But then, of course, he can give it to the investigation to somebody else thereafter. If not, he himself has to write that complaint. There is no question of running away from your duty. The cognizable offense, you have to register an FIR.
I know.
I know this
Barabar.
is not happening on ground.
No, but I
This is
know
happening.
people who have gone with a complaint from a lawyer. The people have told them, why have you approached the lawyer? The police have
Yeah.
told them.
I know.
They will not even give you an inward
ऑफिसर
signature.
आसात बरे ना अशें म्हणणे
No,
ते स्वताचा
No, it is
complaint
not officer bore. It is not a Tara. I am not attacking people. System.
सिस्टम इज
The
रॉंग
system that see every place without rules.
काय तो
Now you
सांगू
see,
System.
Doctor is a lawyer. He has his rules. He has his this. He has everything. So if the rules are not followed, system
चालना.
How it will? System has to be followed, and the person who breaks the system should be punished. GRP or suspension is not punished. After
Yeah.
6 months, you get
मला
full
तसंच
salary.
काटाने जी आर पी उडयता परत
We have
ऑफिस
made,
एक
like for
मात्र
example, spoiling somebody's future is a crime. भितरवड आहे. कित्याक
जायना.
अरे हे सगळे now politicians, businessmen, सगळ्यांक भितर how many government servants have gone in? Now we're talking about just changing. A मातशी change like this, SIT for that thing. Now तो सब रेशर अजून बाहेर FIR फाईल केली लोकांची कोर्टाने
पैसे काढलं ते बेस्ट देखावा केला त्यांच्यानी काय ना ते कित्याक ते मिनिस्टर
one last point before I leave.
just-
One last point. Now, for example, drugs, scarlet killing case happened 14 years
Yes,
back.
back.
I remember because we
Yeah.
covered it. Going to Anjuna,
Yeah.
staying there, and all that thing, we covered it. Today, the chief minister says he's going to have a committee to find out what are the drugs happening in Goa. How can you make such a statement? Goa is a
It's
hub.
known.
People come.
मुद्दाम
they
त्याका
sold
And they are having rave parties also.
regularly.
The
Some
drug
who-
parties.
All the
Salman-
big guys walk out.
Salman
all the big guys
Patil.
walk out. All these 5
And-
grams, 10 grams. कोणाची
No,
जुना लावपाक?
this is the point that I wanted to raise is now coming the environment for tourism is drugs, you have alcohol, you have gambling, and there's a lot of trafficking for prostitution.
Yes.
Okay, now this is the message, that image which has gone out to
Which
the
show you
world.
stop instead of trying
And
to
but
this.
and what is happening, the money, like if you look at the casinos for example, they are, you find all the police hoarding, they have the advertisement, the money is going to them. So when you have a interest like this nexus, conflict of interest, no, so when the casinos are giving so much of money, anybody going to the casino getting drugged or getting raped or getting whatever robbed, the police are going to register a complaint? No way. And the politicians are going to act? No way, because they are also on their payroll. So this is what is happening. Completely there is a control on this, and that's where our if you look at pandemic is deteriorating because of that.
Those are last words closing.
Willingness is first is required. If government is, and second is kind of picture that you want to create. If you are going to create Goa as something like casinos, rave party, then all these ills, then all these ills will come with
तशी हा
it.
tourism
All
ची.
these ills will come with it. So therefore, we need complete overall and change of picture of Goa. Once you do that, I think tourists of those who are coming for a particular type of entertainment will not come. Second is strong arm for dealing with these things. Whenever a case comes of this nature, use strong arm and make an example of that
Yes.
case. If a particular person is punished in quick time and with iron hands, people will also take it,
Sorry.
not take it lightly thereafter. I think if these two things are, and other things as we said, professional, scientific analysis and freeing police from political clutches, if these things are done, I think law and order is a small place, and it is possible to really make it a model state for the entire nation. It is, time has still not gone. I think it's
It
still
is very possible.
It
I
is
also
very
think
possible
so.
to do
Yes.
it, and
Okay.
right intentions of the government, I think it is possible to do it.
Okay, we have completely run out of time. This has been a discussion. We came for a certain thing, but it has gone little holistic, which is good. I thank you, Advocate Samant, Tara Madam, Dr. Sabina. I thank you, and I hope that, see, we are not against anybody, but some issues have to be sorted out if Goa has to remain what Goa is. Goa is beautiful. Goa has got so much of potential, but just being good, potential, and all doesn't matter. The people who are concerned have to work to keep it like that, improve it, develop it. If Goa has to become a model state, as our big politicians and leaders have said, to be a model state, we need to put in effort. If we don't put in effort, it's not going to happen. With this, I would like to end today's episode. I thank you again. Thank you very much. And keep watching Goa 360.